everybody, I'm Dan.
I'm Olga.
And today we just got really big news for Avatar Last Airbender fans. We are getting a live action television series, a remake, reimagining on Netflix, which is a big deal. We have an article here from IGN. You want to just quickly go through it and then we'll talk about it.
Right. So this article says Netflix has announced that it will bring Aang's epic story to Netflix in a live action adaptation of Avatar The Last Airbender. Beginning production in 2019, right around the corner. Avatar The Last Airbender will be helmed by the original series creators Brian Canezzo and Michael DiMartino. And they say, we're thrilled for the opportunity to helm this live action adaptation of Avatar The Last Airbender. We can't wait to realize Aang's world as cinematically as we always imagined it to be, and with a culturally appropriate, non-whitewashed cast.
All right, I think we can stop that.
Yeah, that's the real, bang, right?
Yeah, so, as a side note, I mean, my bigger question for this video is, do we need this? How do we think it works in live action? But first, I do want to say, fantastic that it's Netflix, fantastic that it's the original creators.
Yes.
Fantastic that they're not going to whitewash the cast and they're saying that outright.
Yes.
So that's all awesome.
Yes.
And my first thought seeing this was like elation. I'm so excited. I love Avatar. I want to see more Avatar. My second thought was, well, we got the Dragon Prince, and we just recorded a video about the Dragon Prince, which is on Netflix. The head writer of Avatar working on that, and I really enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, to me, that's what you want rather than a revival. You want like a spiritual successor that is different, but with some of the DNA, right? Do you really want the same story again? I mean, that's that's a real question. I don't know.
My answer to that is that I think that it will bring something more to it, that the animation, it will be different from the animation. Yeah. It'll be different from the original Avatar The Last Airbender. Further, there's a new generation out there. Mm-hmm. Like, there are kids who haven't seen Avatar. There are kids who haven't seen Korra. Yeah. And yeah, they might have the Dragon Prince, but this is all kind of feeding into each other. I think this is a smart move for Netflix. Yeah. They're going to get us back who are big fans of Avatar. And I think a lot of people, even the ones who are like, well, I remember this fondly, I don't want to touch it. I think most people...
They're going to watch it.
They're going to watch it. They're going to try it out. Yeah. And I'm sure word of mouth is going to be positive. Yeah. Because I trust Netflix and I trust the original creators.
And it's a smart property because it's like, 20-something audience. Kids will watch it. It's a fantasy show. It's just something a little bit different for them that will definitely have an audience. That said, I can't think of very many times adapting something in the anime style feels right when it comes into live action. Visually, I just have trouble I honestly just have trouble picturing Aang for the first off, not looking weird with his arrow tattoo in live action, and his wacky outfit and his wacky, surfing, air surfing thing. And
okay, I'll say this. I have watched a lot of martial arts movies and to a lesser degree shows, but I've seen a lot of beautifully choreographed, beautiful cinematography around live action fantasy worlds of martial arts. Yeah. And I don't think it would be that goofy necessarily with how far CGI has come. Yeah. I think it really does depend on the show's budget. As for character design, I have seen, this may be silly to say, I've seen some really good cosplays of characters from Avatar. Yeah. And I'm willing to just buy into it, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's hard for me to wash out the visuals of the terrible movie. Yeah. Because obviously you can have great choreography, you can have great action, fight sequences with great martial arts or whatever. But when you are then bringing in, CGI water or fire or whatever, it's just, I'm like, is this gonna look weird? Also, he's gonna be a kid, and literally seeing a kid is weird. Also, so do you think that they'll age up Katara and because then, like, if Katara is a kid too, that's one thing. But if she is older, like, maybe she actually ends up with Zuko this time instead of Aang, because that's a little too weird in live action.
So I'll say this. I hope that they make some updates, and I think that a good place to make those updates would be with characters' ages.
Yeah.
I think that while clearly, like, the Stranger Things cast, I think they all started out around the age of, like, 12 and 13. Maybe not all of them, but, you know, some of them, and now, you know, they're a bit older. Yeah. But I think it would not necessarily work, especially with a multi-season show. It really depends, because if they're trying to go for speed of characters, of like movement and, you know, seasons, they age between seasons. Yeah. And when they're like 12 and 13, there's a difference between a 12-year-old boy and a 14-year-old boy. Yeah. So I kind of hope that maybe they age him up to 14 and Katara can be 14, because then as the actors get older, it might not necessarily be as jarring. Like, they'll grow with the characters, but not be like, hey, it's been 2 months and he grew a foot.
I mean, the other option I get, well, so yeah, you're right about puberty and everything. Yeah. The other option I could see is like, Aang is the child and the rest of them are like 16, right? And so it's like, we're his like protectors, but ultimately he's the you know, like he's the one with power, but he's the kid, and we're like a little bit old. Like, I could see that working a little bit, but I think part of the difference between Stranger Things is that the Stranger Things kids at 11 and 12 aren't like fighting each other.
Right. So they're not. But if we're talking a protector, I mean, 11 is the protector, and that works. But again, there's a little bit more wiggle room because girls girls just kind of look different when they get when they age a lot of the time, and I think with her it was a little like slower and it's not in the same kind of giant you're not risking as much as with boys. And
I do hope that they like somewhat significantly change things, like do like a Walking Dead with this, where it's like, okay, we have the comics, but we're gonna, you know, take things from the comics, but we're not really doing the comics again. Right. To me, that would be preferable. I think that's a smart move.
I think it would be nice if, I think it makes sense to have like all the main characters show up, and I want to see them. Like, I want to see Toph, I want to see Azula, but I could see the kind of like mythological adventures that they go on. Yeah. Like when they go to the Northern Mountain Water Tribe, it's like a little bit different. Like, I could see them going on adventures in a slightly different order, things happening that are slightly different. Like, I don't want a one-to-one, like, this is season 1, or like book 1, book 2, book 3 in the same way. And it would also be a nice opportunity for them to introduce new characters. But at the same time, I'm like, well, that's what fleshed out. So the world of Avatar, the animated series, is very fleshed out. Can we keep that flesh but look at it from a different perspective?
Yeah, well, the thing is, so they have a lot of minor characters that come in and out, right? I think you could get rid of most of them and add new ones. Right. And like, yes, people would miss certain favorites or whatever, but it would have, as long as you have the main people, then you can add a little bit of freshness by bringing in other side people and stuff like that. And also, you give yourself wiggle room for, hey, an actor comes in and they're freaking amazing. Maybe this time there's another member of the core group because someone comes in and you are, you know, knocked off, you know?
Right. An example for me of what could arguably be a minor character, because they're not part of the core group, but that were very vital to the world, are like the Kyoshi warriors. And I would be very sad to not see that, because I think they would also be a very cool example of choreography and fighting and like subterfuge. Yes, they're minor, but they come back repeatedly and they have the connections to our group, especially Sokka. And it's just one of those things where I think that a lot of people could make that argument for a lot of characters. And so that, again, might be some difficult territory of, well, they're a favorite, but also they're useful to storytelling.
And I think there was lots of things, too, where you have to think about, like, different animals and creatures that they can't do all of them because of CGI or strength. I mean, obviously, the concept art is Appa, so we're getting that, but that alone is going to be a huge chunk of money. I hope they get the Okja people to do it. But yeah, it's just Spirit World's probably gonna be kind of difficult.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I guess I need to see it. Obviously, I love the world. I love the characters. It could be awesome if they got like the right actors. This could be really cool. But I don't feel like I'm gonna believe it until I see a trailer that proves me wrong, kind of thing.
I'm going into this being way more positive about it. I think for me, I'm like, there are a lot of places where it could go wrong, but I have so much trust in this group of people to do it right and to do it well, that even if whatever it is I'm imagining, I don't think that's what's gonna happen. Like, that's the thing where I can't even picture it, but I'm excited to see what this will be. And frankly, I think depending on what this is, I think it opens up a whole new world of like live action shows and a type of like genre piece.
Well, the other thing is that they could go into new avatars and stuff like that too in future seasons.
Right. In a way, you brought this up, and I think, we brought this up actually when we were discussing the Dragon Prince. And even though the Dragon Prince is more medieval, it is set in medieval fantasy.
Yeah.
I think that with rebooting or reimagining Avatar as a live action, I think this might be Netflix trying to be Game of Thrones, like have their own Game of Thrones.
Well, they already have The Witcher coming, but yeah, this is This is the kid Game.
Game of Thrones.
This
might, family friendly.
Honestly, this might be what they went to after it seems like Zelda fell through.
I totally forgot about that.
Because they were going to potentially. There were a lot of rumors about them doing a Zelda TV show. With, so yeah, I mean, kid Game of Thrones is
I think smart. Honestly, that's kind of how I see, in my mind, of like my childhood obsession and what an immersive world with political intrigue and different alliances and people growing and changing and traveling and having fun adventures, but also drama.
Yeah.
That was Avatar, and as an adult, it's Game of Thrones.
I guess my thing is, and I might just be blanking, and so I'd like to hear from you guys in the comments, is like, I can't think of a good, successful adaptation from cartoon to live action ever. I mean, like, people like Speed Racer. I don't know if that would have worked on a long-term thing. But, like, yeah, I mean, there have been maybe movies. But as far as a TV show, I have trouble.
Well, that's why I say I feel like if it's done well, which I trust that it will be.
But that's the thing is, I can't trust that it will be because there's no example of it being done.
But I think that's just, I think this may be the thing that proves that it's possible.
I suppose, but you also have to remember Death Note is also from Netflix.
Yeah, but Netflix movies are not good.
Yeah, you're right. That is true. They clearly put more effort into their shows.
And honestly, they can shut down, if they can shut down their entire movie arm, save the rom-coms, except keep rom-coms, but shut down all their other movies and just funnel that into more TV shows.
Specifically Avatar.
I am here for it.
All right, so yeah, I would love to know if people can think of times where a cartoon was taken into a live-action TV show and it worked out well.
Yeah.
Especially things that were like visually complicated, not like necessarily like a comedy to a comedy. Like imagine if they tried to do Steven Universe in live action. Like I cannot even fathom that working.
It would be, I mean, there's a more difficulty there, I'd argue, because the character designs themselves are very, like, they're a lot more humanoid characters that can't really be played by humans, except maybe, like, motion capture.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is it possible? Yes, but I don't think people want that yet.
Yeah.
Could it happen in a few years? I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Yeah. I think the thing is that so many times that we have had things, whether it be the live action Avatar movie or the Dragon Ball Z live action movie, there have just been so many times where anime has been attempted to bring in live action, so many failures. But I mean, then I think about something like the closest thing I can think of is like maybe Scott Pilgrim, right? It's like we bring like cartooniness to a live action thing. But and that's how it sort of feels like it fits in the same realm with something like Speed Racer, where it's like we're gonna make it super formalist and super stylized, whatever. The thing is, you don't make Avatar super stylized, I don't think. Like it's not like the world is down to earth, even though crazy things are happening.
Right.
So I don't know.
I don't think it'll be stylized in the way of like super weird, bright colors and like very weird cinematography.
Yeah.
I think it'll be stylized in the way of like it'll have choreography. I think it'll have cool fight scenes. I think that yes, the big potential and worry is how goofy will the CGI look of the elements. I agree with you that is a concern, especially with water, frankly.
Yeah.
And
honestly, air is kind of difficult to show in a cool way with a non...
It could be, yeah. But even then, I think that depending on how they do the other pieces of it, I think that will bolster. I don't think we're gonna get a Scott Pilgrim Avatar.
I mean, I guess my thing is like they have a phenomenal foundation to build on. They have awesome artwork to start out with.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to find out more, to see that first trailer, to talk about it more. We'll have to do a live reaction to the trailer.
We will. And I'm excited for the potential new talent that this show can bring.
Yeah.
And I hope that it's a nice trend going forward.
I agree. Also, get the Stranger Things casting director.
Yeah.
Because
seriously, use their casting director, but just be like, these are the correct inspirations, and stick with them. Yeah. And I have trust.
All right. I wish I had your optimism. We'll see. Let us know what you think, whether you're on my side, Olga's side, somewhere in between. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.